let us start the next topic. Next topic is margin. In CSS, when we talk about margin, so that is the margin of the web page. So inside the web page, when you start writing the contents, the heading or paragraph, whatever, so that please start from this particular line. यहाँ से first column से start होगा. Because here we have not set any margin. Margin का मतलब क्या होता है? Boundary of this web page. Web page का जो पूरा boundary होता है, उसके अंदर जो आपके कंटेंट डिस्प्ले होते हैं, so the gap between this boundary and the contents, so that is called as margin. This gap, so here you can see some gap is between this boundary of the web page and this box border के बीच में कुछ gap दिख रहा है, so this is called as margin. So there are 4 types of margin. This is left margin, this is the top margin, this is right margin, and this is bottom margin. So these 4 kinds types of margin you can give. All 4 margin can be set. You can set the left margin, you can set top margin, you can set right margin, and you can set bottom margin also. So here we will see how to use the margin, how to set the margin. So for that purpose, CSS properties are there. So here first property is margin dash top. Margin dash top. So this property is used to set the top margin. Now how to use this property, that I will tell you afterward. So first of all, I will write the 4 name of the property. Second is margin dash right. Third one is margin dash bottom. Fourth one is margin dash left. These 4 properties are used to set these 4 type of margin: top margin, right margin, bottom margin, and left margin. For example, now how to use this property. So first of all, here I will use this. So now I will put border also. Okay, I will also set border. I will set background color also. Now instead of radius, here I will give the margin property. I will use margin property, margin dash. First I will use margin dash left. Margin dash left. Only left margin I want to set. So here, that's why I have written margin dash left. Which value to be given? So here the value to be given in terms of pixels. For example, here I am giving suppose 20 pixels. So now let us see. So here you can see some gap is there coming. Gap is there between the web page border and your element paragraph. Paragraph is the element. What is the length of this gap? The length of gap is 20 pixels, because here you are given margin is 20 pixels. So left margin is set. Similarly, you can use the right margin, you can use the bottom margin, you can use left margin. All this kind of margin can be set. This margin property also having one shortcut property which is called as margin. After margin you can write colon, then the value like 20 pixels. So all 4 side margin will be 20 pixels. So this will be set. Now the next property is padding. For padding, this is called as margin, gap between the page, web page border and the element. Padding means the elements border. This is the paragraph boundary or paragraph border. So from this paragraph border to the contents, इसके बीच का जो gap है, which is called as the padding. So the gap between the element border and the contents of the paragraph or contents of the element, so which is called as padding. So padding also having 4 properties. So these 4 properties are there: padding top, padding right, padding bottom, and padding left. So this is the padding top, this gap. Okay, यहाँ से जो text लिखा है हमने, this and this gap. There is no any gap, but you can increase the gap also. So let us use this property. So here I will use padding top property. So padding top, here I am giving 10 pixels. So let us see. Now this is the previous output. Now I will refresh it. So here you can see some gap is there. So that is because of the padding property. Padding also having their shortcut property. For example, suppose if you are writing padding followed by colon, then 50 pixels space, 30 pixels, 50 pixels again, and 80 pixels. 80 कौन सा होगा इसमें? Again the same sequence will follow. This is top, This is right, this is bottom, and this is left. Okay, so the same pattern will be follow here also. So for this paragraph, this kind of margin will be set. Okay, so here you can see the gap is increased. So padding also having their separate property, and padding also having their shorthand property. So shorthand property name is padding, which this property, shorthand property, here I'm using. Okay, this property is used here, but if you want, you can set the other this property also. If you are using padding top along with this shorthand property, so this will not be reflected. So for that purpose I will delete it. So margin left is set, only left margin is set. Here you can see the margin, this is the margin, and this is the padding. Padding is the space around contents. You can say that the padding is the space around contents. And what is margin? Margin is the gap between element, or you can say content of the web page, and border of the web page. So that gap is called as margin. Here if you want, I can show you the diagram also. I have to draw the diagram. I will show you how this margin and padding will be shown here. For example, this is okay. For example, this is your web page. Okay, this is your web page, and inside web page, suppose this is your element, and you can also say this is one of the box we have created. Inside the box, suppose some contents are written. Okay, suppose here you are writing some contents. This gap is called as, from here to here, this gap is called as margin. What is padding? Padding is the gap between this border and the content. From this point to this point, this gap is called as padding. Okay, border is nothing but a container. So this container can be created with the help of border property. This container can also be created with the help of div. Okay, with the help of div tag, you can also create container. So once container is created, so you can inside the container you can have many element. Okay, इसके अंदर आप बहुत सारे एलिमेंट डिस्प्ले कर सकते हैं, लाइक टेक्स्ट बॉक्स और सम पैराग्राफ, इमेज, कुछ भी आप इसके अंदर डिस्प्ले कर सकते हैं. सो उन सबका पैडिंग सेट अप कर सकते हैं. यू कैन सेट द गैप. So this is the structure how margin and padding are shown, margin properties and padding properties.